Hi there, my name is Dan Gurkowski, aka Wingman, and I'm the creator of Inuyasha Abridgement. So back in the day I created a video called How Inuyasha Abridgement Came to Be, and it's a very boring video to watch because it's just my face and also the picture quality is bad, and also I kind of want to update the story, so that's what this video is. I want to tell you the story with all the little details about my experiences and how the show is the way it is.
What's your name?
Dan.
What are you doing?
Playing.
When I was a kid, I watched a lot of cartoons. I have a very vivid memory of watching Bonkers on cable television when I was young. So a lot of Disney stuff, Looney Tunes stuff. I remember watching Tom and Jerry, Animaniacs, Tiny Two Adventures. Very fond memories, you know, Saturday mornings back when, you know, they would actually play cartoons for kids, you know, before streaming services and all that. You could just watch cartoons whenever you want. There's something magical about it, you know? And watching it got me into drawing. I really like to draw. I like to draw comics and random characters. I mean, a lot of them was just, you know, copy-paste from what I saw on TV. But, you know, I still enjoy drawing, and I wanted to be a cartoonist when I grew up. But when it came to my cartoon watching, my parents were very restrictive. They refused to let me watch anything cool, like Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, anything from Cartoon Network. I remember them being strictly against. They didn't like Dexter's Lab for whatever reason. I don't know what their problem was. But the main one was anime. They refused to let me watch any anime. And you know what was popular at the time? You know, on TV? Toonami.
We are under attack.
The robots are coming.
All forces, move out!
From the latest to the greatest.
Prepare for combat!
Only Toonami.
Yeah, Toonami. I feel like I got gypped, you know? I mean, of course, I didn't know at the time, you know. I was content with what I was watching on TV. I have a very vivid memory of, like, flipping through channels and seeing a clip of a random anime. The anime was Inuyasha. The scene I was watching was from episode 3, the episode where Kagome has to wear the priestess robes that Kikyo would wear. I just have a very vivid memory of it. I remember like seeing that and being like, whoa, like what is this? Like what is this art style? This is really cool. And because, you know, I have the attention span of a goldfish, I changed channels and moved on. Didn't think about it. You know, the attention span, that hasn't changed a whole lot. What are we talking about?
What do you want, punk?
Nothing.
And I kept on drawing and drawing and drawing all throughout grade school and middle school. And everything changed one fateful night. I stayed up at my grandparents' place and they said that they were going to bed and I could watch whatever I wanted. Me not knowing any better, I flipped the station to a random cartoon. And the cartoon itself was South Park.
Oh my god! They killed Kenny! You bastard!
My humor would change forever. I remember just laughing my ass off. It was the episode where Cartman's just trying to learn how to swim, but the kindergartners keep peeing in the pool. I just remember just laughing and laughing. And when I went to school the next day and started talking about it to kids in my class, I discovered I could do the Cartman voice.
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
And it kind of inspired me to like want to learn how to do other voices. So like soon after I started doing like Kermit the Frog, Christopher Walken, all these voices. It's a skill that I've learned just by doing. And that's with any skill, really. If you want to learn how to do something, just keep doing it until you're good at it. You're not going to be good at first. No one ever is. It's just got to keep working on it. You'll get there.
This is the best drink ever.
And South Park changed the way I drew my comics. They became very edgy, and I'm not really proud of half the things I drew, but it gained the attention of a lot of kids in my class, and that's how I made a lot of my friends. They liked what I was drawing. And yeah, that's how I developed my relationships there. And speaking of relationships, one of my most important ones happened when I was there. I met my friend Brian.
Hi, I'm Brian Walkley, also known as Brian Walkley.
And one day, I remember him standing outside of the entryway to school, and he showed me this random video. It was Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
Wait a minute, did you just summon a bunch of monsters in one turn?
Yeah, so?
That's against the rules, isn't it?
Screw the rules, I have money.
And I remember at the time that I didn't really like it.
Disappointed!
Yeah, because I didn't get it. I didn't get what was going on in the cartoon, and I saw that it was anime. And because of my parents' disposition for anime, I had a negative one towards it. For some reason, I thought that anime was for emo kids. I don't know why I thought this. That's just what went through my head at the time. But eventually, all that would change. my friend Dom, who voices Sesshomaru in the Abridged series, got me into anime. And you know what anime he got me into? Fooly Cooly. One of the weirdest anime known to man. I loved it. It was so bizarre, off the wall. It was the most cartoonish anime that I've ever seen. Changed my whole life. And so from there on out, I just kept watching random anime on the internet. Back when people would upload parts of an anime episode to YouTube. I know, YouTube's changed a lot. And while watching anime on YouTube, I finally came across Inuyasha and recognized it. I'm like, oh, I remember that clip from when I was a kid. And I started watching, and I was hooked. I liked the setting, I liked the story, I liked, just the mood and the characters. They seemed really interesting. It was also kind of cheesy, so I was all for it. I really liked watching Inuyasha. At the end of my high school career, there was a sudden shift in my interests. I was still drawing comics, but I'd suddenly gained an interest in doing videography. My dad did videography, made a bunch of Super 8 films that he would show to me randomly, and that got me all excited to tell stories without having to draw them, because I was lazy and I didn't want to sit and draw and draw and draw. My hands hurt after a while. And so I started filming things. I filmed random things around the school, short sketches with my brother, just things with friends. I enjoyed creating stories with people.
Recording.
You should really try to call the National Guard, man.
What's the National Guard?
I didn't know they weren't good at the time. I was arrogant. I was a teenager. I thought everything I made was comic gold, you know? Little did I know. I created the worst thing ever, and I didn't know it was bad. I made it with my friend Brian, and it was called The Brian Walkley Show.
Oh my god, it's a brand new day.
Brian Walkley's a child prodigy. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet. When he's walking the street, he'll flip you the bird and then he'll say,
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
That dumb jingle is the only good thing about the show. It was supposed to be a show about my friend Brian going around doing goofy things. He was really good at improv, and I found him to be a very funny person. So, it was supposed to be this, but my dumb brain came up with a science fiction plot, and I thought I could make it work. But I've never really written a script before. It was just, alright, I want this to happen in the scene, do it, make it happen. I don't care how good it is, go. And I'd usually just do one take and we move on. Very Ed Wood. While everyone was having fun making this thing with me, they knew deep down that it was bad. And a lot of them even told me that it was bad.
Your show sucks, Dan.
I was very shocked by this. I'm like, no, you just don't get it. I didn't understand that what I was making was literal trash until a couple years later. And I look back, and after doing other writing things, I look back and I'm like, wow, this is terrible. It humbled me a bit. It gave me inspiration to get better.
What the hell did you just do?
So I graduated high school and went to college for visual communications, which was camera stuff, filming things, working with the technology that makes all the movie stuff happen. I had access to better cameras, I had access to all the props in the green screen room. It was great. And while I was working on all these video stuff, all these video classes, I was watching a lot more Abridged series. I was watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Berserk Abridged, anything I could get my hands on. It was just a fun thing to watch while I was working on something, little breaks in between editing, because editing is very boring. And I remember watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and they did a tutorial on how they did the lip flaps. I was watching this and I'm like, well shit, I can do that. And so I got together with new friends that I made in college, and we decided that we were going to do a one-shot of different Abridged series, so we could just roll out a bunch of stuff at once. We tried doing a Sonic X Abridged, and well, it didn't turn out great.
I challenge you to a race, you furry, ugly rodent.
Is there a problem, officer? I've got attitude.
And so after Sonic X, we decided to move on to Inuyasha, because one of the first jokes I made while we were watching a bunch of anime to figure out what we're going to do next was this joke.
Gee, sis, put in a tampon next time.
Yeah, that was the first joke I wrote for Inuyasha. Let that sink in. So we sat down and wrote a bunch of jokes for Inuyasha. And we had a lot of fun doing it, and we came up with all the weird voices. I ended up doing most of them because I was the only one that could do voices. I had Lindsay be Kagome because she was our only female voice actor, and she didn't know how to do many voices at a time, so that's why I took on Kikyo, because I didn't think we were going to make more than one. And Justin did a couple of voices too, and my brother got in there somewhere, and random people from the college campus did some voices as well. And I remember editing it at the end of 2010, and I remember just watching it over and over, and I really enjoyed it. I was really proud of something that I made, especially after the failure of the Brian Walkley show. I made something that I could be proud of. I decided then and there I wanted to do more of Inuyasha. I liked the characters that we created, and I felt that there's a lot of untapped potential with the jokes. Plus, there wasn't a whole lot of Inuyasha abridgments on the internet. And so we uploaded the episode onto its own channel, along with episodes 2 and 3. We decided to just do a couple of episodes, and then put them out at once so that it would draw in more people. And it worked. A lot of people saw it, and a lot of you are still here from the beginning, back in 2011. And here we are over 12 years later, still working on it. And I think I've improved as a writer and a editor, and I think the show speaks for itself. For me, it's very hard to go back and watch those early episodes because of how much I've developed as a creative person, but it still holds a big place in my heart, and it fills me with a lot of nostalgia and good memories, of college and being with those friends. And a lot of those friends are still with me, and they're still helping me make this show happen. And I've gained a lot of new people to help out with the show, and yeah, it's all uphill from here, I think. And yeah, that's how Inuyasha Abridgement came to be, and I hope to keep making more. My goal is to get to the very end of the anime. I don't want to back out, but I don't know what the future will hold. I want to make that promise right now that I will do my best to get to that very end, because I want to see it through to its completion. Yeah, that's the video. I never know how to end things, so I guess this is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Dan out!